Hello and welcome. You're joining us live here on India Today So South. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. Over the weekend, there were just about weeks to go for the election, say in Tamil Nadu. Remember, Tamil Nadu comes in phase one, so voting is on April 19th. Over the weekend, there's been a political storm triggered by an RTI reply, which has spoken about the Kachchativu island, which is now part of Sri Lankan territory. It's something that happened way back in 1974 that's now resonating 50 years later. The BJP, armed with this RTI reply, has said you had the Congress and the DMK willfully and rather carelessly ceding territory to Sri Lanka without putting up a fight. They've pinned the blame on former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and former Chief Minister K. Karunanidhi, saying both in cahoots decided to give up this land. So, the next few minutes, we are going to be talking about whether this issue and the details that have come out by this RTI reply, sure, does add another layer to the story. But something that happened 50 years ago doesn't really resonate politically in Tamil Nadu. The BJP is going all guns blazing on this, so much so that the Prime Minister, while speaking in Meerut in Uttar Pradesh, made a mention of this. It's not new for the BJP, of course, to talk about national integrity, to talk about national security and all of the likes. But is it something that really works in the state of Tamil Nadu? That's what we want to delve into here in this video. Also, South, it's my pleasure to be joined here on this broadcast by political analyst Mr. Sriram and also Sanjeevi, a journalist who's covered this issue extensively, who's reported largely also from southern Tamil Nadu. He can kind of help us understand if this will have any impact. Sanjeevi, if I can begin with you. In your reporting experience in these parts of South Tamil Nadu, where of course you see a lot of the issues with regards to Sri Lanka also echoing, and I'm talking about, of course, the fishermen crisis, do you think a topic like Kachchativu, not really new, it's something that everyone knows as part of our history, do you think that this new revelation, rather, could have any impact?
First of all, Akshita, this is not at all revelation because everyone who follows Tamil Nadu politics knew what the Kachchativu issue was. In fact, this played a major role in 2014 elections, even 2011 elections. This was one of the major role because this emotions of Sri Lankan Tamil was very high, complemented with the fishermen issue because the number of fishermen who were killed by the Sri Lankan Navy was higher. Like in fact, last 15 years, 84 50 fishermen were killed, but after 2014 has drastically come down because the LTT activities have come down because the LTTV did not exist after that, and not because the BJP government took any action. So, if you ask me, it is a serious issue, but the emotions have drastically come down. If you remember, like in 2012, 2011, when I was studying in college, there was a huge, massive outrage and protests were happening across the state on the Sri Lankan issue, in combined with the fisherman issue. But after that, the anger among the Tamilians against the Congress government was higher, and that is the reason why, in fact, the DMK also snapped ties with the Congress in 2013, and both of them contested alone in 2014 parliamentary elections. They've already faced the
But do you
repercussions because
see,
of this.
yeah, do you see the fact that, it's come to light that Karunanidhi knew about this? And I remember that in Parliament it was raised where you had a DMK MP actually objecting to this and then realizing that, look, then Chief Minister Karunanidhi was in the know-how of what was happening. He was briefed by the PMO then, he was briefed by the Foreign Secretary. Do you see this actually creating any sort of anti-D sentiment on ground? Because that is clearly the BJP's intention by raising this now.
See, the people of Tamil Nadu have already punished the DMK and Congress earlier many times in subsequent elections. This issue, the Congress could not solve this election because of the ongoing many other issues which is pertaining to Kachchativu issue. Because it is not only about this one island, it is about the Sri Lankan conflicts, about the civil war that was happening in Sri Lanka, and it was about the LTT activities which was happening around the Kachchativu. So that was the main reason, perhaps,
Hmm.
why the Congress could not solve the issue. And post that 2014, the BJP has come to the government. But 10 years after being in the government, BJP raising the issue in a very flimsy manner because you were in the government, BJP was in the government, and a state president is filing an RTI to Ministry of External Affairs, and then they are filing an RTI. So then Times of India puts out an article, and then Prime Minister tweets that. So how it's revealed itself is it is very flimsy. So for last 10 years, you
Correct.
do not do anything about it. You didn't open about it. In fact, the DMK, ADMK, all the parties, the winning parties had this on the manifesto. Like let it be 11, 2014 elections, 2019, 2016. The Kachchativu was one of the prime issue in the manifesto. But BJP in 2014, even the sentiments were higher, did not mention anything about the Kachchativu in any of the manifesto. Now, after 10 years, they are coming up with the issue 20 days before the election, which is so flimsy. So I feel it's not going to create any kind of impact.
Mr. Sriram, if I can bring you in on this. Vanakkam, sir, first of all, to So South.
Vanakkam.
What do you think? Is this a bit too late for the BJP? Have they just woken up to the party? This is something that fits right into their brand of politics, national integration, security, all of that. But this is no India-Pakistan. This is an India-Sri Lanka, which Tamilians not necessarily are averse to, are not cold to the country. So do you really see it having any impact, and is it far too late to be raising this now?
Not at all. I mean, it's clear. It's a perfect timing, I would say, to expose the duplicity of this DMK and Congress, the so-called the India alliance, which talks about, democracy, which talks about, whatever that they could talk about the prime minister. So there is a clear background to it. I mean, while we know this issue is an old issue, but see the statements made by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru in 1961. I attach no importance to all to this little island, and I would have no hesitation in giving up our claim to do it. I do not like matters like this pending indefinitely and being raised again and again in the parliament. Now we must understand that who decides whether it is a problem, whether it is needed, whether it is not needed. Who decides this? And who's been authoritarian here? Who's been a fascist here? It is someone who's sitting in Delhi, the prime minister who made the statement in the parliament and who finds it a problem without even understanding what this problem is. And then in 1954, when Indira Gandhi ji conveys this to Karunanidhi, he was silent for 2 years. Everyone knows this is an old issue, but what was hidden was never known until this RTA had come out. What made Mr. Karunanidhi not to appeal to the Supreme Court, to not to allow this island to be ceded to Sri Lanka? So there are too much to answer by these two parties which currently are in alliance, and they are wanting to save democracy when they have acted in complete anarchy and authoritarianism about not even knowing the importance of an island in Tamil Nadu and giving it to Sri Lanka. So, I mean, they have too much to answer. So this is the right way. And let us not forget, even today, the Tamil Nadu chief minister keeps writing to the external affairs minister about saving the fishermen. Nobody wants to talk about the creators of the problem, but everyone wants to talk about the person who has taken time to solve the problem. Now the creators are sitting happy and they expect Prime Minister Modi to resolve it in a jiffy. How sad and how hypocritical is this? So I see a great value, and then let me complete. I see the great value, and people of Tamil Nadu will definitely wake up to this nonsense that was created by the current alliance, which blames Prime Minister Modi for taking time to retrieve the island. While I have no hesitation, and I'm pretty confident that something will be done for the fishermen of Tamil Nadu, but the creators of the problem are walking scotch-free, is my opinion, please.
Okay. Here, you look at what's happened. The DMK and the Congress, since this news broke and since the Prime Minister has been speaking about it, haven't denied it, sir. They're saying that, yes, this happened, but why are you raising it now? 50 years on, why do you think it will resonate? Because at the end of the day, like I said, the people of Tamil Nadu vote very, very differently on very different issues when you look at it, any of the other states or perhaps even how North India votes. So keeping that in mind, how will this kind of an issue actually resonate? Because also Sanjeevi pointed out that these are issues that have been raised previously, manifestos previously. So what changes now? Why does it resonate now than before?
What would change is the actual fact coming out. No one knew the fact before. And we don't deny the fact that ceding was done long back. But what was the reason to hide certain facts which was done by the Congress and by the DMK is the point. Now, what made the DMK promise in their poll manifesto in 2016 saying that they will retrieve Kachchativu? So what sort of a promise was that done by DMK? Without even knowing how it can be done. Today, they blame Prime Minister Modi for not retrieving the land. I mean, these kind of absolute taking it for granted attitude, people of Tamil Nadu are slowly getting to know the fact. So I'm sure this will definitely be resonate in their minds for all the duplicity and all the lies that these two parties spin around the people of Tamil Nadu, get their votes, and live a life for their families and the well-being. Even today, because it resonates even today, the chief minister, why does he write about Kachchativu? If you think this Kachchativu is non-issue, it was done 50 years ago, why is the chief minister writing 21 times to the foreign minister
Good
seeking
point.
his help to release the fishermen? These are I'm shocked, and such a bizarre statement by the supposed to be responsible politicians who are playing with the lives of fishermen, and here they come and sit and say it is not going to make a poll impact. Of course, it will make a poll impact, because the people who are suffering know this much better than people like you, me, and the gentleman sitting here saying no, it will not resonate. Of course, it's going to resonate.
Okay, Sanjeevi, you want to respond to that? The reality is you're saying that it may not resonate, but today you've got an MK Stalin, you've got Kanimuri, you've got all of the top leadership responding on this issue.
I think the BJP is trying to do the same game of blaming Indira Gandhi and Nehru for what's happening today. So I did not say that the issue was not serious at all. I told it's a very serious issue, but the emotions have come down right now, because it is a bullet which was shot by many parties in the past, and it is a rusted bullet right now, and that's why I'm saying it's not going to work at all. And the issue could not solve because of the Congress government, because of many other issues which I stated earlier. Let it be about Sri Lankan conflicts. So in 2004, the government of India started a joint working group of fishermen. So they were supposed to have a meeting everyone to sort out the issues, where the stakeholders from both the countries, including the Indian fishermen and Sri Lankan fishermen. So the 10 meetings have happened till now in last 20 years. The 7 meetings happened during the Congress government, and only 3 meetings have happened during the last 10 years. So it clearly states what kind of stake BJP is having on this issue, because the Tamil Nadu parties have been already raising it. In fact, I would like to recall the speech of Jayalalitha from 2016. So she spoke on the Tamil Nadu Assembly. The DMK and Congress MLAs left and walked out of the assembly immediately, because Jayalalitha reached it in such a way. That was a very powerful speech, which I remember. So all this is not something which is new to Tamil Nadu. So I don't think so it's going to create any kind of impact. And even if they want to bring the angle of sovereignty as a national narrative, I don't think that's going to happen, because even 2 days ago, the Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Gunawardene, has met the Chinese Premier. And Chinese Premier has already given a guarantee that the Hambantota port and also Colombo airport will be developed by Chinese fund. So it is clearly seen that India has also diplomatically failed with Chinese, with the Sri Lankan relation. On the other hand, so the Delhi is actually becoming far from Colombo, and they're becoming close to the Beijing. So all these things are happening. On the other hand, they're also trying to keep this as a claim, as an opposition for the things which is happening in Arunachal Pradesh and Eastern Ladakh.
Okay, all right. I've run out of time. Closing comments, Mr. Sriram. If you just want to quickly give a response to what Sanjeev is.
No, if I mean the two points. Sanjeev said the fishermen's killing has reduced after 2014 because of after LTTE came exited or whatsoever. But let him remember they were killed by the Sri Lankan soldiers and not by the LTTE militants. So the killing has come down is because of Prime Minister Modi and not because of Mr. Manmohan Singh. So fishermen were not killed by the LTT militants, but by the Sri Lankan soldiers, unless he says Sri Lankan soldiers are militants. So the duplicity is being exposed, and I'm sure there will be a logical conclusion to this island. Let him also talk about the 33,000 square meters of the Arunachal Pradesh given by our Prime Minister to the Chinese at those point in time, be it Ladakh, be it Kashmir. I'm sure the Congress party never had the intention to keep the country together. So this is the government, this Prime Minister is the one who has integrated, the Kashmir completely to India. So I'm confident that this government will never ever allow an inch of land to be ceded to anybody else. Congress will be happily doing so willfully to anybody and everybody. So let's not forget what has happened. And history has to be repeated no matter how many times you repeat. False are false, and you need to keep repeating that.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that, Sanjeevi and Mr. Sriram. Thanks very much for joining me here on So South. The question that I started off this broadcast asking, and you've heard both sides here of the spectrum of what they believe, is whether this will have any resonance in the political battle that's playing out right now in Tamil Nadu? We'll perhaps get the answers on June 4th. April 19th is voting day. The BJP has now thrown this also in the political battleground in Tamil Nadu. Does it resonate or not remains the big question, particularly in South Tamil Nadu. It's not a new issue, but certain revelations is what the BJP is counting on. We leave it at that. Do continue to watch our videos here on So South. Thanks very much for tuning in.
Thank you.